Hi everyone, Mr. Simmer here. Welcome back to Coast Trucking. So I'm continuing my jaunt across Texas, trying to get the Texas towns and deliveries done so that I can get the World of Trucks thing taken care of. Again, I may end up deviating from that eventually, but right now, this job came up, Abilene to Odessa. It's over the 100-mile minimum, so I'm going to take that. Alright. So we're early, almost 13 hours till we need to rest. I cannot get out this way, so I'm going to go ahead and go back. So I think this was a bit of the challenge I had at one point. But we're going from Vestas to Vestas. I'm not seeing Vestas on my mini-map anywhere, so I'm not sure that that's gonna get me there easily. I don't know how big Abilene is.
Turn left.
I'm assuming it means turn left here, but I don't know. Now this is a one-way, so that would make it easy enough.
Keep right,
So,
and then continue straight on.
oh, okay. I was gonna say, is it gonna have me turn right already? But technically there's no straight route, but
Get ready to turn left.
let me take a look and see how this is gonna take me. Alright, so I'm going, alright, so I'm gonna get on the highway and then basically come back, because it honestly doesn't look like there's any other alternative.
Turn left.
So this gets us on 20.
Left.
Alright, and then yeah, we're gonna not go into the cloverleaf. We're gonna want to pass through here, or as we talked in the last couple episodes, mix masters, as they like to call them here, though this one's not that crazy, so I'm not sure they're all called that. It's just interesting. They're all like different sizes. But yeah, you could almost like turn around there. It's definitely an intriguing interchange. That's one to, you know, try to model in city skylines or something as something really unique. But that's for another day and another set of capabilities that I'm not up to yet anyway. So, alright, so Michael K, getting some drivers coming in.
Okay, let's find a new route.
Well, wait a minute. You told me. I am so confused. Did it want me to do something different? I guess I should be on the correct side of the road, right? That would always be helpful. It's not really changing anything, but I suppose, yeah, I guess I could have gone to the next exit, it looks like, and then taken off there, but this way we got the Kenworth dealer discovered, so that's pretty good. Alright, Ellie's good. I bet she's gonna level up. So she is. Just the way the pace of the scrolling was going, you kind of learn that when it's really moving quickly, there's either other things there, you know, other drivers, or it just got more than one message. So that's always the thing, like it could have been multiple deliveries, but usually unless it's the evening and you've been sleeping, it's pretty rare for two drivers to do it like right away at the same time. Well, that definitely had a Texas on the door of that police cruiser that went by. I'm assuming we're not getting back on the highway here. Yeah, we're just staying on. Alright, I just need to be careful because I can only go 55 here. And obviously unloaded, I'm able to go substantially faster. But we can see our location there.
Get ready to turn right.
Depending on what I find, you know, I may toss 2 runs into this episode, because this one on the surface is short. Of course, we've got the US flag, the Texas flag flying off the poles there. And here is our shipper. Alright, so it looks like I need to go this way to get the... Ah, there it is, okay. I thought I was going to have to select it, but I keep forgetting kind of on the World of Trucks thing. I've already picked it, so unlike the normal job market where we, you know, once we get where we need to, we have to basically stop at the gate and they'll tell us where our load is. In this case, we're already set. So it's a wind turbine body or something. I think this is one of the new industries in the Texas DLC. So let's take a look. Not that big, but it is an oversized load, as it says. So we will get going. Go ahead and reset me. Now this tells me 7 minutes in real time. And this will likely just be something we pull into and then park. I am going to get back in the truck again, I promise. No panic. I'm just giving everybody a good view, including myself, of what we're hauling. Because this is a new load type that we don't normally, or have not in the past had. This may become quite normal, but right now it's new. Alright. Now we're only getting 6,000 for this, but again, it's a pretty short run, so that's okay. But with these kind of articulated trailers, they tend to be simply pull-through parking, so I don't think we're going to have to do anything much when we get there. And the question is, yeah, I think we head this way, and we're just going to keep, because right now we are heading southwest. So yeah, we should probably cross under the interstate here, and then we'll end up getting on and heading in this direction and continuing onward. But definitely, you know, just enjoying the view. Obviously, I'm hoping you're doing the same.
Get ready to turn right.
Alright. So yeah, that was a yield to ramp, so if someone was coming the other way, in theory, we should be letting them on before we continue. Does he not have a stop sign, or did he just do a rolling stop? Now I need to be careful here because I think I'm going to want to swing pretty wide given the articulated trailer. Because yeah, you can see those back tires. I could have gone a little tighter, but not much. Similarly, I I think this is a two-way road, so I want to be careful. Muffin Mondays at Annie's.
Turn left.
I don't know if Annie's is a Texas company or if that's just one of the real companies that replaces. I've just never seen it before, so I'm thinking it's got something to do with the DLC. Alright. So in theory, well, that's right, I'm maxed out at 65 because the speed limit is 75, but can't go that fast with the external contracts. So we'll do what we can, but again, with this kind of a load, although it's not that heavy, it's 37,000 pounds. Just looks heavy or looks large, but it, you know, it would make sense, I think. Just like the nacelles and every other part of the wind turbine, I think they're hollow and made of lightweight materials. So even though they're large, it's not like I'm hauling a solid steel cylinder or something. It's going to be whatever material it's made of. I don't think it's carbon fiber, but it might be something similar to that has some strength but a lot less weight than making the same thing out of steel or aluminum or something like that. A little bit of jitter on the bridge there. That's interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't normally have that kind of a graphic result. So it's telling me I got 4 minutes. We've got a Tesla truck going down the frontage road. They must have a similar speed limit to what we have, because we're not really catching them. But yeah, an hour and a half, so should be there before lunch, unless something unexpected happens. And this was pretty straight down. You know, the thing I need to do to really be able to effectively continue this process here in Texas is I need to get off the interstate and head down somewhere else. And once again, now that because I don't think there's another town nearby down this route, so I think going north or south and going through the country is going to be the most effective way to really start branching out and getting to different locations that I haven't gotten to before. Obviously right now I really haven't gotten anywhere. Come on, oh, now everybody's slowing down, probably because that truck is trying to merge, but that does not help. And of course, I'm sure I'll have cars coming up next to me now trying to blow by, because the speed limit is, after all, 75, so I'm not quite sure why everybody was all jam-packed there. So, nice water tower coming up. I'm sure it'll have the town name on it. So we got what? San Angelo and La Mesa. I'm going to say it's La Mesa. Could be La Mesa, but it's probably not. Big Spring. Yeah, we still. Alright, well, I was going to say we still got 48 miles, so probably not exiting here, but clearly it's telling me to do that. Ah, Namik. We know what Namik is. So yeah, these are interesting exits where everyone's kind of got to wait, and we go from there. I assume then we're going to turn right or left here, but don't know for certain. Another pretty big truck stop here, it looks like. I don't want to run into them, but you know, one of the big things with the Texas DLC was the truck stops, so. And it definitely looks like it's a sprawling endeavor. Alright, I'm turning left. So I will not see it beyond this, but, you know, just a large parking lot, which is what you'd expect with most truck stops. But yeah, we still got 38 miles, 42 minutes, so I'm guessing that means we're going slower than 60, which once we're off the interstate you know, definitely would be what we'd be looking at. Again, I'm going to swing wide. I don't think anybody was in those lanes, but no real reason not to line ourselves up.
Go straight on.
Obviously, Fort Worth and Dallas is where we came from, so that certainly would be back there. Oops. Sitting on the brake a little too long. Well, there's a little bit of an older muscle car. Looks like we're on Business 87. Thinking maybe a recruitment center that we'll be discovering. Doesn't seem to have any other icons around it in the mini-map like a truck dealer would. So that would be a welcome addition to our discoveries, because obviously, again, that helps give us more people to choose from, and also better people to choose from. So this is nice, just kind of a overpass for the train line here. But yeah, we're not discovering Tesla, I'm sure, so
Go straight on.
it's gotta be something else. A Viewpoint. Avid historian. Yeah, it's almost like it's over here. Oh, well, that's close enough. We'll do this, because I would like to enjoy some of these if I can. So let's see what we've got here. The city of Big Spring. I am not familiar with this city. I am also not a Texan, so maybe if I lived in Texas I would know this, but otherwise, you know, maybe it's just, I mean, it obviously has that older high-rise hotel, which is similar to Mineral Wells as well, where, you know, back at the early 1900s, some of these towns were a hop in place because of things that were important in that era, but have since faded away, or maybe even faded all the way into obscurity. I like the reflections in the windows there. That was pretty nice, seeing the road. And alright, so that's the bridge we just went over, so that gives us a nice cleaner view of that. But you know, it's a town. But I guess there's the sign, so because initially I was like, it's just an intersection, and that's it. And I think we're sitting there blocking traffic as the fire engine comes up near us. Alright, so I should be able to swing back here. I should have the right lane still kind of. There's the fire engine that we saw coming up on us. But I was going to say I should be able to swing back and have most of the right lane blocked. I'm not sure if he's waiting to go or if he's just, doesn't look like anybody's in the cab. So he may just be a permanent parked item there. But here we go. Go 55. Well, there are some wind turbines right there. So maybe we are just delivering more components to just keep expanding that wind farm. Or not, because we're heading off away from them. I thought we were just going straight across, but now I see. But maybe we'll turn right and immediately follow that road that seems to go right back that way. Because we are only 18 miles away now. Although that says Namik, not Vestas. But it is in that direction, so.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Alright, so I just want to be careful that I don't go too far. There we go. That's a much more visible intersection. Alright, so Namik is just kind of out there. Please don't have anybody there in the way. Yep, and then we are heading back toward the wind turbines. So this could be a, you know, like a active construction site for this wind farm. Looks like maybe this is where the property line begins. So, you know, if they start expanding all the way out here and so forth, you know, they're going to need a lot more of these materials to be delivered. Got a crane there. Probably in the process or waiting to assemble something. So I think right there, laying on the ground, is several of these pieces that we're bringing.
Go straight on.
So I think they'll just eventually move them over there, but they want it delivered over here. So, or maybe we've got the same thing over here, who knows. But yeah, there's another gentleman working up on one of those. And yeah, we've got a whole other construction site here. Well, that is pretty stellar, I will say. Good job, SCS.
Finally, we are here.
Now, we'll see if I can do a good job, because this is going to be a bit of a challenge with the forklift sitting there, and in theory I would like to have swung a bit more over, but I really can't. I'm certainly not able to really get in here any other way. It's not going to give it to me, is it? I don't think it is. Because at this point, I think we're through. Now I could try... Let's see. I'm going to give it the good old college try, but I may end up just saying, you know what, I can't make it happen. Because again, these articulated trailers are just a real challenge. So let's see. I think this is what I want to do to push it in the direction I want. Actually want to do this, kind of the opposite, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it doesn't even appear that it's moving in the direction I need it to move here. Yeah, it's just not going to give it to me, is it? I was hoping, but it doesn't look like it's going to do it. So we'll skip the parking. We'll just get it delivered, because I think we would have gotten the minimum points anyway. Alright, so we actually didn't get any kind of bonus. That's alright, but we've got 3 of 15, so that's good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one from Odessa to Del Rio. It's leaving from Namik, so I'm sure it's right here. The other one I was looking at was this. It's a little shorter, but it's kind of taken me somewhere that I'm worried I'm going to have difficulty getting anything out of. And again, I only need to get 15 cities, and I think there's 30 in Texas. So I'm going to do that, because the other benefit it's going to have is I'm sure we'll discover San Angelo as we pass through. Alright. So we'll head around. Yeah, it's telling me it's 8 miles, but it's got to be the Namik that's just right out there. And yeah, we can see the flag now. So I was figuring I could just go around here and come out. Yeah, it doesn't have our drop-off has been removed, because I did just continue within the same episode here, or even in the same gameplay session. So sometimes it maintains those things, other times it doesn't. But yeah, if we can get down to Del Rio, you know, the benefit that's going to have is, as I said, by discovering San Angelo, that potentially gives us the option if I want to start a job from there. So if I'm in the area and I want to basically bobtail there, empty, pick up a job, and then take it somewhere else, I could again get 2 cities, credit for 2 cities in one run, like I did in the initial run here, instead of simply going and getting 1 new city, and then in essence creating the need to have 14 loads to complete the task. I could do it in less. But likely not going to happen. But alright, so I see that our gravel is here, because that's, yeah, what we were grabbing was basically 2 trailers of gravel. as opposed to a really big, heavy front loader, which I think was the other load. All right.
Drive safe.
So 211 miles. So I'll zero myself out, and I need to figure out. This has gotta be the best way. The challenge is we've got this, and I'm worried I'm going to get hung up here. So I'm going to hope it's going to straighten out. If not, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to definitely be moving fast enough that if it catches, it might force its way through. We got out. That's the most important thing. Let's make sure nobody's coming. Normally there wouldn't be in these kind of sections. I didn't hear which way I needed to go. I talked over her.
Turn right.
Alright, turn right. Alright. Good amount of traffic. Alright, because these are short trailers, I don't have to take such a wide swing as I did before. But this will let me go ahead here and continue along, and so we'll get through San Angelo and ultimately to Del Rio. I don't know that we're going to pass any other towns in between. We may. They may not, be large enough that they register as official towns. That was interesting. I'm not sure what that pickup had in its bed. So I think I can only go, no, it says 75. That's crazy on these kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say this is an interstate of any kind, but no. The turn is 55, but given our weight, again, this is about the same weight as what we were hauling with the turbine. So if I take a look again, we've seen stuff like this. This is not really unique to Texas, but there's, going to be a lot of this kind of different industry, just like they've been really, really good at adding into more recent DLCs, where they try to make it really bringing in the feel of the entire location. And I know the feedback that we've gotten from folks many times who live in these spaces is like they could get around and they could tell you where they are from some of the landmarks and some of the cities and so forth. So I think they do spend a good amount of time just really trying to be as authentic as possible with what they're putting together on these. So looked like we had 45 miles to San Angelo. Certainly got enough fuel. 3.5 hours. We've got 6.5 hours till we need to rest. So everything looks excellent for just getting this completed and getting done. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of this scrubland. I don't know how else I describe it, but similar to a lot of the things kind of in the Southwest, New Mexico, Arizona. I think there's more trees here than we would get. I think that was a railroad track, but kind of an interesting run. It almost seemed like it was ending, but not ending, if that makes any sense at all. But so, but lots of traffic, I will say that. Probably more traffic than I recall having in places recently. Okay, so this slows down to 65, which is perfectly fine because that's but now we're down to 55, so alright, because we are at San Angelo and down to 45. So I just want to be careful. Obviously, again, I want to go, but I don't want to get fined for anything. That's an unnecessary expense that we don't need. I'm a little more concerned about that in other series where I'm not doing the truck simulator economy, which is pretty generous. But still, it's just for some authenticity. I'm not looking to just break rules of the road. Alright, light's green, but for some reason maybe it just turned green. Like, now again, this is a really busy, interesting kind of setup here for this intersection, just even how it's rendered and mapped and so forth. Alright, so again, Mineral Wells is similar to this, where you kind of get to the, what they call the downtown, and they've got things in the center, but kind of the road splits, and you've got a one-way on one side and one-way on the other side with businesses in between. So this, I'm assuming, since I'm seeing it here in San Angelo, is a bit of a Central West Texas standard, maybe the whole state. But we might have another Viewpoint here. Although that might be on the other side. And if that's the case, I'm not gonna hop over there. But I'm not sure. Maybe I can get to it here. Where is it? Further up a little bit. It was my own fault. I'm clearly not moving along, and so the car was like, well, I'm going since you're not. Yeah, I don't know that this one's going to be worth it. I'm going to have to basically, here, we'll do this, we'll disconnect, we'll leave it here. I've done that before. Again, part of the fun of this as a game is to enjoy what they've got for us here. So let's do that. So I assume this is just the city of San Angelo. There you go. So obviously right where we're at here. I think someone's behind honking, so that was the sign. And this is where it's nice because I didn't notice the sheep, so I'm assuming the wool industry or something. Oh, well, we're headed this way, so maybe they didn't have these on the other end. Maybe that's on this end of town. Looks like a little bit of a wall and then like a park with animals in it out in the distance. Obviously we have the flowers here, but the animals are what are catching my attention. Not real animals, they're statues. Nice little river. Again, I don't recall having seen this, so maybe we're headed in that direction, or maybe this is an area of town we're just not going to see. I don't know. The visitor center. Well, whatever San Angelo is, it's pretty significant. That is not just a little hut or something. Okay, there's our truck. So it's kind of sweeping over. Yep, the truck behind is beeping at us. I understand. Alright, so we're going to back in so we can just continue on here. Or we're going to try. I don't know what I'm hitting there. So let me straighten out. And then it'll be easier to line up in the trailer where I need to. And then get going again. It was a long backup, but there we go. Alright, we're coupling up. Now we're moving. Maybe just in time to get the light to change. It looks like it's green, although that truck isn't really moving.
Go straight on.
Alright, and it's not like the speed limit here was that high, so getting going again is pretty good. Going through the yellow light with the police officer there, but that's alright. It's legal. But it could have made it really interesting, so kind of a truck stop just here outside the outskirts of San Angelo. But yeah, I do not know that I'm going to be hitting...
And then exit
Oh,
right.
I see. Yeah, he's continuing on. I thought maybe he was turning right, but he's not. Are they gonna let me in? Alright, they were just turning, so... Now this guy might not let me in, though. I don't know what he's doing. I've clearly got my signal on and I'm ahead of him. Sonora is a name I'm familiar with, and not a location I've ever been to, but there's definitely lots of places in Texas I've heard of. You know, they're, it's a big state, it's well known, you know, and like anything, I'm sure they like to advertise a bit. Alright, so we'll see if we go beyond 55, otherwise I'll probably slow myself down, but there we go, 70. So I will just let the truck do its thing as it moves through the gears. We still got 131 miles to go. 7 minutes is what it's telling me. And this was a longer run here from San Angelo down to Del Rio. But a little bit of, you know, probably what's known as Texas hill country here, because I can definitely see some hills. I think the road is going along the ridge line a little bit, but if we're, you know, kind of looking, I mean, they're not big, you know, they're hills, but it was a little more visible at one point. There's a lot of police officers, I'll tell you that. Alright. I do like the fact they have a lot more rest areas and things to stop at, because that's certainly nice. It's something that sometimes is lacking in places, especially once you're off the beaten path and you're out into the country. But yeah, we're getting some cactus here. Oh, and some drops of rain. A lot of drops of rain. That's pretty fast. So let's see. I don't know. I'll just turn them on. Like, I don't know that I need the whole thing, but you know, now we're definitely, you know, we're cut. They've got the road cut through the hill here. Like, I would say this would qualify as hill country. May not be where we're at. It may not officially be Texas hill country, but I'm gonna go with it. And there's Sonora. And we gotta slow down some more as we come into Sonora. Another truck stop. So plenty of service opportunities. Alright, so now we're near 10. I believe there may be a different interstate, because 5 wouldn't really be going across. Oh, well, maybe I'm turning here. Am I turning here? Or am I going to the road? I'm going to the road. Okay. It just said keep left, but it wasn't very, you know, the last thing I want to do is like have to turn around or something. Alright, hopefully we'll make it. Again, we don't have a super, I mean, it's long, but because of the way they're connected, I can make a more normal turn. I don't have to go as far out. And obviously we're going to have to go right here. We can see that on the mini-map, so.
Go straight on, and then keep right.
Moe's Motor Parts.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Now, gotta be careful so I don't take this guy's sign out.
Turn right.
Alright. So we'll swing a bit wide here, because again, I just don't want to run into any problems with the Chevron dealership sending me a bill for tens of thousands of dollars to replace their sign. Alright, so right now only 40, so about 45. There's a Del Rio marker, 79 miles. We're only going 74, so we're not quite getting there. So this is always another potential issue, is that if we don't discover it at that point, we might not be able to get a job. But, I mean, I'll drive into town at that point if that's what happens. But we'll see. I would think 5 miles gets us close enough. But we're heading to Nielsen Road, so I'm going to guess this is going to be like a construction site again. And it's just a road crew that is doing some stuff. And we're just bringing them some gravel. But we'll know in a little over an hour, so... Whoa, I hate when they're doing that, because I'm like, is he coming over here? But it's just because they're done with a hill or something. So that little patch was another pull-off where we could rest if we needed to. So, good thing to know if there's nothing nearby or in any direction where we're going. I think that said like Devil's Forest site or something, but I may have misread that. There was rain, and it's just a little tricky to read signs as we drive sometimes. I think we're finally coming out of the rainstorm here. Wasn't too bad. Seems to be getting brighter, and more importantly, the rain seems to be lightening up some. And I see construction sign, but we're still 40 miles away, so this can't be what we're delivering to. I thought I was done. Oh, well, I would be if I was hitting the right button. I don't know what I was... I think I was hitting the button that would just turn my cruise on, but it's obviously already on. So I'm sure the vehicle's thinking, like, why are you telling me to turn something on? You already have on. And you keep hitting the button over and over. But yeah, so in general, it's just a big construction site here, so maybe it will be just a continuous, sporadic thing. I'm going to be a little careful here. That looks pretty weavy for what they showed. And again, I don't want to go flying off anywhere. We're going to be crossing a river. Looks like there's a bridge out in front of us in the distance, too. I don't know if that's a road we would ever get to, or just put there for kind of really nice scenery. There isn't one there. It looks like the waterway ends. Just hard to look around and drive at the same time. Alright, I see our delivery point. So this one might be as kind of out in the middle of nowhere as the other thing was, so I'm not entirely sure that this was any better than the one I passed up for fear of not having any alternatives. Because the problem is, like, if there isn't something going from Nameek here where I want to go, there isn't a lot around, but yeah, I don't think we're going to discover Del Rio either. Yeah, it's down there, so, but there's plenty of stuff. Whoops. I don't need that. There's plenty of things down here to pick up, though, so. But first, we've got to deliver, and then we'll worry about what's next time. Because this is certainly enough to break at this point once we get ourselves over there. And once again, this is not a load that we would back into something, so we're just going to have to kind of be aware of where they want it and try to pull in appropriately, and hopefully we have a little bit more space to maneuver than we did dropping off the wind turbine shaft.
Get ready. Turn right.
Alright, so I will be doing that here. Ooh, big truck, big wheels. And there we go, and it looks like they just want it. Well, wait a minute. They want it the other way. What do they want me to do? Pull through? I couldn't go that way, right? Or could I have? Yeah, maybe I could have. No, because that's blocking me. Just not sure where to go here. This is going to be messy. Alright, I'm going to try to just kind of turn around here. Go through the bushes. Alright, maybe I'll do this, because now they got this signal. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Yeah, they're certainly not making this easy. I'm kind of hanging up on that signal in the back. Hopefully I didn't hurt it too badly. But yeah, they're not... Like that blade for the bulldozer is not letting me position myself properly. They've certainly made these challenging, I will tell you that. But this should work. Alright. There we go. Oh, why? Did I pull too far? Guess so. Alright. So let's see where we're at. Alright, so this time we did get a trailer maneuvering bonus. It did give us a 4, even though we technically really... Although maybe because we found San Angelo? I don't think so. But the other thing I'm going to look at... Alright, so I've got Texarkana, so I can put some trucks in there. I'm going to get 3 trucks. Or 2 trucks. Don't have enough, not quite. That would be pushing it. Anyway, but let me go to the recruitment agency and hire drivers. Alright. Well, Nathan is a no-brainer. He has got all his hazmat, maxed out on fragile cargo, fuel economy, which is not that important, and I forget which one that is, because this is high value cargo. This might be the just-in-time. Yeah, I think that's a clock. And he's got some added distance, but a 5.0 driver, you are hired, sir. Give you this truck. Thank you for joining our company. Alright, and Miroslav, let's see. You know what, I think I'm going to actually go with Ulrike, because she's got more distance. I mean, it's nice with the fragile cargo, but given that what we're trying to do is get distance going right away, we're going to hire her. And put her over in Texarkana with Nathan. I think his name was Nathan. It's a new employee. Forgive me for not knowing his name. And then we're going to check our driver manager and just make sure. Okay, we still want Ellie to be long distance. We want these new guys to expand a bit, so just set them. Alright, so Mikhail here now can be balanced because he's gotten his 3rd. I think everybody else is balanced, so yeah. So that's what I wanted to make sure. So out of LA, he's pretty good. He's got 37 hours to go. Wow. Alright. Jose is going 12 hours, and then Nathan and Ulrike will get going. So we've expanded our platoon of drivers a bit. But that's all I'm going to do for this episode. I'll see you next time.